It was the first day of preschool, but my daughter was nowhere to be found. My phone buzzed with a text from Patrick, my wife's high school sweetheart. He asked if I could guess where she was. This was the fourth time he had pulled one of his twisted pranks on me. When Megan and I started dating, he made me believe she died in a car crash. I ran 3 miles down an icy road in tears. On our wedding day, they disappeared for 24 hours, leaving me humiliated before 100 guests. When Sophie was born, he brought a fake DNA test to the hospital. I only got the truth after collapsing from a panic attack. Megan always defended him. She would cradle his face and scold me for being too sensitive. But this time, he was messing with our 4-year-old. Shaking, I called Megan. She picked up sounding annoyed and said Patrick was just playing hide and seek. Then she hung up. I stared at my screen. The GPS tracker on my daughter's profile glowed a steady red. The location was right in the middle of Blackwood River. The September river water was bone-chilling. I didn't even bother kicking off my shoes. Following the red dot on my screen, I threw myself directly into the rapids. The freezing current instantly swallowed my chest, sending violent tremors down my spine. The mud at the riverbed was incredibly soft and slick. My foot slipped, and my entire head went under the murky, freezing water. Sophie, where are you? I choked on a mouthful of dirty water, fighting desperately to stand up. My throat was so tight I could barely breathe. Up on the banks, people were shouting about a man jumping into the river. I could see the flashes of phone cameras pointing at me. I didn't care about any of it. My mind was consumed by the image of Sophie's bright smile when we left the house this morning. She was terrified of water. I usually had to spend half an hour just coaxing her into the bathtub. There was no way in hell she would willingly go near a rushing river. I bent over, plunging my bare hands into the freezing current, dragging my fingers through the rotting sludge. My fingernails tore against sharp rocks, but I couldn't feel the pain. The blood welling from my fingers was instantly washed away by the current. Suddenly, my fingertips brushed against something soft. My heart violently contracted. I gripped the object with both hands and tore it out of the heavy mud. It was Sophie's pink strawberry backpack. The fabric was completely waterlogged, making it as heavy as a brick. My hands shook uncontrollably as I ripped the zipper open. My daughter wasn't inside. There was only a soggy, ruined coloring book. Sophie, I screamed at the top of my lungs at the empty river. My vocal cords tore, making me sound like a dying animal. There was nothing on the surface but floating dead leaves and garbage. Fear wrapped its icy fingers around my throat, squeezing tighter and tighter. I pulled my soaking wet phone from my pocket and dialed Patrick's number. It rang for nearly a full minute before he finally picked up. Patrick, where is my daughter? Where the hell is she? The line went dead silent for a second. Then, a lazy, arrogant chuckle filtered through the speaker. It's hide and seek, man. You have to find a good hiding spot. Are you out of your psychotic mind? You don't play games with a child's life. My entire body was convulsing. I couldn't tell if it was from the freezing water or the blinding rage. Stop yelling. I'll text you the address. Come find us yourself. My phone chimed. A location pin for a luxury downtown hotel popped up on the screen. My knuckles turned completely white as I gripped the steering wheel, pressing the gas pedal straight to the floor. 20 minutes later, I kicked open the door to room 8012. Sophie. I charged into the room with bloodshot eyes. The main lights were off, the blackout curtains drawn tight. The only illumination came from a dim, amber bedside lamp. Clothes were scattered across the carpet. A man's dress shirt was heavily tangled in a woman's silk slip dress. On the bed, Megan was frantically pulling the heavy duvet up to cover her bare chest. Patrick was leaning against the headboard, completely shirtless. There were fresh, faint red scratch marks trailing down his neck. When Megan saw me standing there, dripping muddy river water onto the expensive carpet, raw panic flashed across her face. But it only lasted a second. She quickly pulled a plush bathrobe over her shoulders, got out of bed, and pointed a manicured finger right in my face.